Roman Reigns just walked back into Monday Night Raw and within minutes, CM Punk's entire world collapsed. What happened last night was not scripted the way anyone expected, and the reason behind it, it changes everything. Stay right here, because this is the most important wrestling video you'll watch this week. What is going on, Wrestling Streams family? Welcome back to the channel where we bring you the hottest, most unfiltered wrestling breakdowns on YouTube. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button right now, because tonight we are going deep into one of the most jaw-dropping moments Monday Night Raw has produced in years. Last night, the WWE Universe thought they were tuning in for a standard episode of Raw. Maybe a promo, maybe a contract signing, maybe a match announcement. But what they got instead was a full-scale demolition, and Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, was holding the sledgehammer. CM Punk, one of the most beloved, most polarizing, and most talked about superstars in the history of professional wrestling, left lying in the middle of that ring, humiliated, destroyed, and staring at the ceiling while the crowd tried to process what they had just witnessed. So tonight, we are breaking it all down. What happened? Why it happened? And most importantly, the shocking reason behind Roman's actions that the cameras barely caught and the commentators danced around. Let's get into it. To understand the magnitude of what went down, you have to understand the temperature in that building going into Raw. CM Punk had been on a roll. And not just an in-ring roll, Punk had been on a microphone roll. Week after week, he had been cutting promos that cut straight to the bone, calling out the establishment, calling out the backstage politics, and doing what CM Punk does better than almost anyone alive: making everything feel real. The crowd was eating it up. Trending on social media every Monday. Merch flying off the shelves. There was even legitimate buzz that Punk was being positioned for a major title run heading into the summer premium live events. And then Roman Reigns showed up. Now, here's what you need to understand about the tribal chief's entrance. It wasn't announced. It wasn't promoted heavily in the days leading up to Raw. The production team reportedly kept it tight, and that alone should have told everyone that something serious was about to unfold. The music hit. The lays around the neck. Paul Heyman half a step behind. And the entire energy in that arena shifted in about 4 seconds flat. Punk was mid-segment when Roman's music interrupted. And rather than backing down, because this is CM Punk we're talking about, Punk held the microphone and stood his ground. That's when things escalated fast. What followed was a verbal dismantling first. Roman didn't just come out there swinging. He came out there precise. He went straight after Punk's credibility, his legacy, his real-world storyline, and he did it in a way that blurred the line between kayfabe and reality so effectively that even hardened wrestling fans weren't sure what was scripted and what wasn't. Then the physical confrontation. Without getting too deep into spoiler territory for anyone catching up, Roman made a statement. A loud one. A visual one. The kind that main event match posters are made of. Punk hit the mat, the crowd erupted in a mixture of shock and outrage, and Roman stood over him like a man who just reclaimed a throne he never truly vacated. Paul Heyman's expression in that moment said everything. This wasn't panic. This was calculated. This was planned. Okay, this is the part you came here for. Because the why is what makes this story so much bigger than just a beatdown. Here's what multiple sources close to the situation are pointing toward, and this connects storyline with real creative direction in a way that WWE rarely lets bleed into public view. CM Punk's rising momentum was starting to overshadow the carefully constructed bloodline narrative that Roman and WWE have been building for years. Not in a petty, jealous way, but in a very real, structural storytelling sense. The creative team reportedly recognized that if Punk continued on his current trajectory without a major disruption, the natural endpoint would put him in a position where the bloodline story would have to pivot entirely or take a back seat. Roman's attack wasn't just about dominance. It was a course correction. A statement from the top of the card that the bloodline saga is far from finished, and that anyone, even a returning legend with maximum crowd support, will be absorbed into that story on Roman's terms, not their own. Think about the deeper implication there. Roman Reigns didn't just beat CM Punk. He consumed him. He made Punk's story a chapter in the bloodline story. And that, right there, is the genius of the tribal chief character done at its absolute ceiling. This also opens an enormous door. Because if Punk recovers and he will, the revenge arc practically writes itself. You've got real heat now. Not manufactured heat. Real heat. The kind that sells pay-per-views. Let's talk consequences, because this isn't a one-night story. For Roman Reigns, this re-establishes him as the apex predator of Raw's new era. Even with championship status fluctuating, his presence is the title. He doesn't need a belt around his waist to be the most important man in the building. Last night proved that definitively. For CM Punk, this is actually counterintuitively fantastic for him. Nothing creates a bigger star than a compelling rivalry with the right opponent. Punk needed a foil with real gravity. Roman is exactly that. The sympathy that Punk gains from this moment will make his eventual comeback story one of the most watched angles of the year. For Monday Night Raw, the show was reportedly struggling in certain quarters to find its footing post-Netflix transition. Last night? That's a highlight reel clip that spreads far beyond the wrestling community. This is the kind of moment that brings casual fans back. And for us, the fans, buckle up. Because if this is the opening chapter, the rest of this story is going to be something special. That's the full breakdown. Wrestling Streams family. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Monday Night Raw. And a moment that nobody who is watching will forget anytime soon. Now I want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments right now. Is Roman Reigns the greatest antagonist in WWE history? Can CM Punk bounce back from this and make it even bigger? Let's get that comments section fired up. And if you want more Raw reactions, PPV breakdowns, and wrestling news that actually goes beyond the surface, you already know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.